Hi, I'm Tony Spine with Hillside Christmas Tree Farm. I wanted to give a little shearing update. We kind of wrapped up our non-harvesting tree shearing today. I saw in the group that someone asked me about how the long leaders were coming along. I tend to leave my fir leaders a little longer than normal, than what most do. And even walking through today, Dad's kind of giving me the side eye of how long they are. So I thought I'd go for a walk with the gimbal, kind of talk about what I'm seeing, and I'm leaving some long again this year. These trees I think will be harvested in 2 to 3 years, depending on how we open up our fields. So there still is some time to fill in some problem areas, right? Got some blisters on the hand, it's good. So we'll get the gimbal hooked up and go for a little walk and talk. So follow along. All right, as I mentioned, these are the trees that kind of Dad lets me prune my style. We kind of refer to each other's pruning as styles. Mine are much more tighter taper and longer leaders. He lets his kind of a little more bullet shaped. Mine are more arrow shaped, right? So here we come up to one that was probably left as a natural crown, right? Maybe not a total length. We can see the new growth started here and went up to here. So maybe about, nothing crazy, 12 inches. But I think what's important to note is the natural crown really forms a nice natural way of growing. And we see we had really good bud density and all these things grew out. And yeah, this one looks pretty good. Ooh. Had some frost damage in here. These are balsams up here. And can't control everything. Some of these longer ones, one of the was it top rings, right? So I put them on this tree, but I think that one was probably on this tree, right? The way it's kind of bent down, we see that we're hoping that these things will train into branches and not want to be leaders. Again, maybe that leader is 16, 18 inches. Getting up close, we see we have good bud density, nice crown on top. So cutting that off isn't going to do anything for this tree, so I'll just let it ride. Same thing here. This leader was cut last year, right? So a new bud took dominant, and it did well. That leader was probably, last year's growth is here, so maybe 12 inches or so. Here's a nice one, nice natural crown, good bud density last year. Trimming up, hard to see, but this one was right here. So here to here was all leader last year. We look at the whole tree as a whole. It's looking pretty good, right? Nice and full top. Again, the density of that leader was there to support a longer tree. So this should be a fantastic tree when it's ready and done. Another probably long one. Not a natural crown a year ago, but kind of long. Natural crown 2 years ago. Not a natural crown. Last year, natural crown. Filling in nicely. You can see the shearing line of it. There we go. This one is making Dad cringe right here. So I am 6 foot. Let's see if we can flip this thing around here. Never mind, not gonna flip it around. So this tree is one I'm gonna try to make like super tall. And where that whirl is probably 6.5. And we see we have really nice density along the stem again. Maybe a little gap up top, but I think it should be fine. And we're gonna try growing this guy, made him tighter into something big. Cause Ann Arbor, I saw a retail lot that had I don't know, 14, 16-foot tree going for 300 bucks or so, and had a sold sign on it. So that's interesting, different. I wouldn't have thought to charge that much, but hey, if they are selling it, I'll talk to them next year and get some advice. But just kind of walking through the field. I just did this morning when it was 60 degrees. Now it's, you know, getting to be 80. Talk about shooters. I didn't eliminate all the shooters on this one. Had a lot. See something shooting through. It's just nice when you can keep a natural bud set, natural crown. Doesn't have issues. Here's another one that was probably pretty long. So here we see last year's leader start up to this year's natural crown. Good set. These trees were planted in 2019 and kind of getting ready. We'll go check out that concolor I put the top ring on. Looks like I left it on that tree. No, that wasn't a concolor. You can see those rings are kind of really holding stuff together. Actually, that was when I took off a concolor and moved to this one because these were up more, and I want them to train down. So where's that one? I think it was right here. All right, I'm going through the process and editing this video, and I feel that this would be a good point to cut in the footage that I took while I was doing this concolor top and doing the putting on that ring, so we can see kind of what it looked like as I left it and now what it's looking like after shearing. I think it's a good point in these videos and a good lesson to be taught. So let's cut in that footage right here. Cut him down a little bit. So this one, like, he's kind of trying to be a leader, so we should try to get him to be a branch. All right? See, these trees are gonna be too tall for you. So maybe we'll see if he wants to be a leader, and we'll use a whole top ring to do all that.
The one on your booty?
The one on my butt, yep. So we just go like so. The clip is to hold it. Can you stop? Watch. Yeah, and I got clips inside my bag, and you got the whole rest of them. So we're going to see if he can be the leader. So we will grab him. We'll kind of push these down. Yep. And we will see if we can. I don't know. We're going to find out. All right. We're going to go like that. We're going to spread these out. See how that works. Now we have the branch fill, and hopefully this will come up. Now when we go with a knife, these will be hard. They may turn up a bit, but we can nip them down. But they'll become hard and woody like this in the fall, okay? And that's when we go through with the big pruning. We're really doing that stuff, okay? Yep. So this is that concolor that had a lot of stuff going on. And I put that tree ring on, and these kind of did curl up and around. And I train them into branches. We'll see what kind of happens with this guy throughout the years. What is it? There was one, let's go for a tag. I put a tag on one of the long leaders on the edge. Dun, 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 dun. That one. So this one here I shortened up a bit because there's a big hole, so we're going to try to keep this guy short, promote some stuff, eventually use some trainers and stuff, see how we can get him to fill in. If not, might become a top tree. Just cutting that leg right here. Get a couple bucks for it. So here's my long leader number 2, right? This thing's got to be about 24 inches. Again, you can kind of follow the line up. Good density along the stem. You know, that whole thing is 8 feet. Now I probably am planning on having, 2 to 3 years before these are harvested, just because of the layout of the farm. We planted those, getting them down further at the end of this field, planted in 16, 17, 18 in here. Sorry, we didn't plant in 16, 17, 18, 19. Kind of on the other side of the driveway, if you can see, is what we'll be harvesting this year and next year before we come on this side. So a couple years still before we get into this. And hey, it may work, might not work, but I'm always hopeful that it will work. Here's another nice one that was probably a pretty long natural crown. Last year's starting point. Maybe this one's 14 to 16. Nice crown. Shorten the leader up a bit on this, because I don't need every tree to be tall. But yeah, so that's my approach. I know it was one of the questions I got called out on the group for, so hopefully this answers your question. These trees could be ready next year if we wanted to, right? They're all touching that 6 foot height right now. So, this year 6, next year, 7, get some filling in, but along with them we have replant trees of this height. So, we're trying to get a little more consistent. A thing that Dad and I have decided, that if a tree passes, it doesn't really matter the age, we're going to put a small tree there because it can form into our tot lot trees. So that's our thought process on this. Let's move on to this other section. So these trees, I still have a couple years of before harvest. Let's move to some that are going to be harvested next year, and you'll see how my pruning methods kind of change. Basically, next year I want the trees just to poof out a little bit. So if we move on this side, we see our grands. These trees that are going to be harvested this year. We haven't pruned them. We may touch up the tops a little bit in the fall to kind of set the price height, the overall height of the tree. Obviously, we charge by height, so we don't want someone paying for a 3 foot leader. And maybe remove some of the doubles and stuff. But overall, this is the width and kind of the look of them is how they're going to be sold. We're not going to trim the sides at all. Just something we haven't done, and seems to be well received. If you've been following along, you'll know that we kind of use that orange fencing. So all those trees will be opened. All of these trees are going to be roped off and safe for next year. So today I trimmed them up, made them tight, brought all the sides in, and I trimmed down the leaders. I don't want them to grow super tall. Walking through these things, they're already 9 feet tall. In this section, obviously, they get kind of smaller as you get closer to the pond and prom area there. That one there is probably 6.5, 7. But I brought in the sides, I brought in everything just because I want them just to poof out a little bit next year, give them some nice symmetric shape. And so last year, the trees looked like this that we're harvesting. So this is this year. Short leaders, maybe 10, maybe 12. That one maybe have to get cut down a little bit more, but and then hopefully next year they just turn into this. Dense, thick. My wife tells me I don't want to see through the tree, right? So that's the objective for me. Not to be able to see through it. Nice, dense, tall. This guy here, 10? Sorry, hard to control the gimbal. This thing's pretty cool, right? It hooks up to your phone. Otherwise it'd be bouncing around everywhere. This one here, Not as dense, something wrong with it. Right next to it, whew, man, 12. Nice. These ones were planted 20 fall and 15. So what are we at? 9 years in the field. Coming in, we're starting our grand. Grand are looking pretty good. Definitely was a learning experience shearing these things throughout their rotation. Odd, real dense, probably gonna be real heavy. I'm pretty happy with how they're looking now. Hopefully a lot of them get out of here. This was one that got winter burned, killed the whole tree a couple years ago. If you look back, you can see flying the drone, seeing that one dead. Might turn this little cedar into something. But yeah, good. So that's our update. Again, we'll open up this field too, where Dad actually sheared. He's probably thinking that maybe not a lot of people take these shorter trees, ranging in height around 6 foot, 4 to 6. So if someone wants a shorter tree, they have the option too. I don't plan on roping, stringing orange fence everywhere. So still some stuff to do. Remove doubles. Like I said, kind of at this point, if someone doesn't take it, then, or if someone takes it, just putting in effort, right? So, yeah. All right. So that's the update for kind of my shearing 2024. I still have the spruce to do. That'll probably be next weekend. Knock those out. And yeah, so let me know if you got questions, comments, your thoughts on long leaders. And yeah, have a good one. I'll see you soon.